It was panic on Pine Avenue on Sunday as the sound of gunfire sent people running during what was meant to be a celebration.
Oh, it's shooting, though? I don't know if I'm shot.
What was supposed to be one of the biggest days in hip-hop this year turned into a crime scene in a matter of seconds, and one man never made it back home. The whole thing went down right on the doorstep of an event meant to honor a man who gave everything he had so his community could rise. Stay with me because what happened next will shake you. Let's go back to Sunday, March 1st, 2026, downtown Long Beach, California, Pine Avenue. The energy out there that afternoon was something else, and it had nothing to do with the weather. Hundreds of people had been lined up outside a brand new restaurant at 245 Pine Avenue, tucked inside the Pine Square shopping area, and some of them had been waiting in that line for over 5 hours just to get inside. Now, this was not your average burger spot opening, not even close. This was Marathon Burger, the fast food chain co-founded by the late Nipsey Hustle and kept alive by his brother Block Sam. And on this particular Sunday, the whole city had come out to show love.
The Marathon Burger opens this Saturday with a ribbon cutting at noon.
The Marathon family, Sam, Jorge, the whole bunch, and the Hustle legacy is one of the best brands in all of the city of Los Angeles.
When we say the marathon continues, it's not just a phrase, it's for real, for real.
When did you think, let's expand the marathon experience?
The marathon continues in Venice to open Marathon Burger.
Snoop Dogg, a Long Beach native and investor in the restaurant, helped cut the ribbon and was out there passing food to the crowd with his own hands.
Mama Bear and all of those grandpa. Oh, yeah.
Stevie Wonder pulled up, greeted Block Sam warmly, and sampled the menu. YG and radio personality Big Boy were actually behind the counter serving burgers to the people waiting in line.
What's happening? It's Marathon Burger grand opening. I just got done cooking some fries. Make sure y'all pull up.
Long Beach Mayor Rex Richardson and Lauren London were there. Community members showed up holding photos of Nipsey Hustle, and some of those people had flown in from different states and countries just to be part of this moment. This was the third Marathon Burger location and the first one in Long Beach, the very city where Nipsey had deep roots and where Snoop Dogg himself grew up. Streets were closed off, tents were set up, music was filling the air, and everybody who was there described it as something close to a full block party.
Service here, remarkable, very impressive. Y'all sitting on a lot of burgers. Soon as I leave, no well.
Always love a good burger, but the fact that it's family.
Shout out to the Marathon Burger, man. Best burgers in town.
The best burger in the world, not just LA, all over the world.
Understand, if you ain't had a Marathon Burger yet, you're missing out. Best burger in the world, Jack.
And the timing of this whole thing could not have been more powerful. Just one day before this grand opening, on February 28th going into March 1st, the city of Los Angeles had officially dedicated the intersection of Slauson and Crenshaw as Nipsey Hustle Square, the very corner where Nipsey used to sell mixtapes as a young man coming up, and the corner where his Marathon clothing store still stands to this day. The signs went up. It took 7 years to make it happen, and it finally happened with the new sign carrying his name and the words, "The highest human act is to inspire." Now, if you do not know the story of Nipsey Hustle and why this moment carries so much weight, let me give you the foundation real quick, because you need to understand it to fully feel what happened next on that Sunday afternoon. Nipsey Hustle was born Armias Joseph Osgadum on August 15, 1985 in Los Angeles. He grew up in the Crenshaw district, came up through the streets, and made a decision early on that he was going to do things differently from everybody around him. He wasn't just going to rap, he was going to own. In 2013, he released a mixtape called Crenshaw and sold it for $100 per copy, pulling in $100,000 in a single day, and Jay-Z himself bought 100 copies. His 2018 debut album, Victory Lap, earned a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Album, and after he died, he went on to win 2 Grammys in 2020. But the music was almost secondary to what he was building back in his neighborhood. He opened Marathon Clothing in 2017 as what he called a smart store, with an app that gave customers exclusive content, and then he bought the entire strip mall where the store sat so the community could not be pushed out by rising prices and outside investors. He co-founded Vector 90, a working space in Crenshaw where young people from the neighborhood could connect with technology jobs and opportunities in Silicon Valley. He paid for school programs and sat down with the LAPD to talk about reducing violence in the streets. He was actually scheduled to meet with law enforcement the very day after he was killed. On March 31st, 2019, Nipsey Hustle was shot and killed outside his Marathon Clothing store by a man named Eric Ronald Jean Jr., someone from the same neighborhood and the same gang background, who shot him over street rumors about snitching. Holder was convicted of first-degree murder on July 2022 and sentenced to 60 years to life in prison on February 22, 2023. He is going to die behind those walls.
Back here at home, hip-hop star Nipsey Hustle was gunned down in 2019, and today his killer, Eric Holder Jr., was sentenced to 60 years to life. The judge said the sentence balanced the mental health of the defendant with the devastation caused to the victims and their families. The jury returned that first-degree murder verdict with about 6 hours of deliberations. A close friend of Hustle, who made a victim impact statement, talked to reporters.
He didn't give Nipsey no mercy, so the 60 years, that was a great outcome. It's a major loss for our community. So many jobs have been lost since Nipsey's been gone. So much hope. And, Nipsey was the people's champ. He gave us all hope. If Nipsey could do it, we felt we could do it. So a lot of our hope is gone. A lot of our youth are backsliding.
After his untimely death, Nipsey Hustle, who was just 33 when he died, was mourned at the Memorial Center at the Staples Center and celebrated in a performance at the Grammys.
So by the time that crowd showed up at Pine Avenue on March 1st, 2026, they were not just celebrating a burger spot. They were celebrating what it looks like when a whole community refuses to let a man's dream die with him. And then, just after 3:30 in the afternoon, the sound of gunfire came through and shattered all of it. The shots came from inside a parking structure in the 200 block of Pine Avenue, roughly half a block south of the blocked-off event perimeter on Broadway near Pine. Not inside the restaurant or the celebration zone, but close enough that everyone on that street heard every single shot.
The shooting happened about a half block south of the event on Broadway near Pine, just outside the perimeter that had been blocked off for the celebration.
What followed was about 10 to 15 seconds of complete chaos. Witnesses described hundreds of people scattering in multiple directions all at once. No plan, just pure survival instinct taking over. One attendee named Tyree Bailey, who had been standing in line outside the restaurant with about 50 or 60 other people, described exactly what it felt like from where he was.
And they ran in one direction and then ran in another direction, and then somebody said that they heard gunshot.
And Eric Van Dyke, a relative of Nipsey Hustle who had come out that day to celebrate alongside the family, watched the whole crowd flip from celebration mode to survival mode in an instant. He told ABC7 Eyewitness News exactly how it felt standing there.
It was disappointing because I know that Nip, Sam, Black Sam wanted this to be a happy occasion. So it's unfortunate that something happened that would bring more attention to the negative elements as opposed to positive elements.
Officers moved straight to the parking structure and found 3 young men who had been shot, all of them adults in their late teens to early 20s. Officers started giving aid right there on the scene before the Long Beach Fire Department paramedics arrived and transported all 3 to a local hospital. 2 of the men survived with wounds that were not life-threatening and were listed in stable condition. The 3rd man did not make it and was pronounced dead at the hospital. His identity was held back by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner until his family could be told. Video from the moments right after the shooting spread fast all over social media. TMZ got footage showing the exact moment the crowd outside the restaurant broke into full panic, people running every direction, police rushing toward the parking structure, and Black Sam himself caught right in the middle of it, ducking behind a white sedan while the chaos was unfolding around him.
I was shooting, though.
It was panic on Pine Avenue on Sunday as the sound of gunfire sent people running during what was meant to be a celebration.
Two people, a man and a woman, were briefly taken into custody at the scene and put in patrol cars. Their connection to the shooting has never been explained publicly, and no arrests have been made.
Shots are being fired right now. Shots are being fired. What knife at, bro? I don't know if I'm shot. Get over here.
Go. Now here's where things really get messy, because the internet did exactly what it always does when something like this happens near a major event. Within hours, social media was running wild with rumors trying to connect the shooting directly to Marathon Burger, to the event itself, to Black Sam, and to Nipsey Hussle's name. Early posts, including a local news Instagram reel and reports on Long Beach community Facebook pages, were claiming that a fight had started inside the newly opened restaurant before it spilled into the street and turned into gunfire. Some people in the comments were backing that version up, and others were pushing back just as hard, saying that everything happened around the corner and had nothing to do with what was going on inside. A podcast host named Poetic Flacco threw more fuel to the fire by sharing a more detailed story, claiming that someone connected to a gang walked into the restaurant, tried to start trouble, and got escorted off the property by Black Sam and security before the shooting happened nearby. That version traveled across Instagram and X and racked up hundreds of thousands of views, but nobody with any actual authority over the facts ever confirmed any of it. What the Long Beach Police Department said on the record was clear. The shooting happened in a public parking structure about half a block outside the secured event area. It had no connection to the grand opening, to the people at the event, or to the Marathon brand. The reason for the shooting is still unknown. The Marathon Burger spokesperson put out a statement that addressed it directly. The opening was a huge success with strong community support. The incident being reported was not connected to our event or even within our block party. The opening itself proceeded safely and without issue. The restaurant remains open and customers are still flowing in and out. And Black Sam responded the same way Nipsey always would have. He stayed on the block.
And you already know how the internet gets. The second something happens anywhere near a major event, folks start acting like the whole event is cursed, messy, or somehow involved. But from what's being said, this was not the Marathon situation. This was something that happened nearby. And people around the brand are standing firm on that. And let's talk about how major this opening really was.
Not long after the shots rang out, another name started moving around online. A local LA rapper named Wastier, who's connected to the 74 Hoover criminals. Social media was full of posts claiming he had survived getting shot in the head during the incident, and videos of him speaking out from inside the restaurant were being shared with captions calling him lucky to be alive. But that story doesn't hold up either, because what the video actually shows is Wastier inside the Marathon Burger kitchen, no shirt, full of energy, completely unhurt, holding something that looks like a certificate and grinning at the camera with text on screen reading, "Wastier from Hoover and shout out the Marathon." The clip was posted by College Kid on X and was viewed over 130,000 times. A report from Hypefresh confirmed that Wastier came out of the whole situation without a scratch. He was not one of the 3 victims, all of whom the police described as adults in their late teens to early 20s. The headshot story was exactly the kind of thing that catches fire during moments of chaos because it sounds dramatic, but there was nothing behind it. Long Beach Mayor Rex Richardson was not about to stay quiet after what happened. His statement came through that same evening and went straight at the situation. "Let me be clear, we will not allow violence to define our downtown or undermine the progress we are making. We will not retreat from investing in safe, active public places. Public safety remains our priority." And even with yellow crime scene tape going up around the parking structure nearby, Marathon Burger kept its doors open wide. Customers kept walking in, orders kept going out, and posts from the brand and people at the event showed lines and energy still going strong into the evening, as if to make the point that no single act of violence was going to take this day from them. Because here's the part that got almost completely buried under all the shooting coverage. The Long Beach location is a partnership between Black Sam and the Broadest family, which includes Snoop Dogg and his son Cordell, and this is not the last restaurant they are opening. A fourth one is already lined up and locked in, and it's going into Times Square, New York City. Black Sam didn't build any of this overnight. The first Marathon Burger opened in 2025 on Melrose in Los Angeles. The second came shortly after in Venice Beach, and the Long Beach location lands right at the 1-year mark of the whole operation. In 1 year, they went from 1 restaurant to 3, with a 4th one coming in one of the most visited spots on the planet. Black Sam said in a recent interview that once the upcoming grand openings are done, he plans to lock back into an early morning schedule and push the Marathon brand all the way to what he called billion-dollar status. Right now, the Marathon brand covers the Burger Restaurants, a run club that just held one of its biggest events at Venice Beach alongside Noriega Run Champs, the Marathon clothing store at Crenshaw and Slauson, and the Neighborhood Nip Foundation, which keeps running programs for young people in South LA. A new album called Prolific, which Nipsey himself put together with his collaborator Bino Rideau before he died, is set to come out later in 2026, and a full documentary on Nipsey's life is deep into the editing process with support from LeBron James's Spring Hill Company, and Black Sam has described it as something closer to Braveheart than a regular music documentary.
And I remember him telling me, like, man, I'm about to change the mixtape name. My next mixtape is gonna be called Marathon. So I'm like, what? Marathon? What? Hold on, bro. We doing Bullets Ain't Got No Names all the way to volume 10. What are you talking about? We got this. You on fire right now. The streets is us. You got it. Why we changing? He like, nah, bro, you don't understand. I'm like the energy that's at the shows. I'm like, you know, we jumping off stage, getting in fights, hitting people in the head with bottles, and shootouts in the parking lot, everybody trying to test it. He like, I don't like that energy, man. My shit needs to be inspirational. And so I honestly did not understand it. And I'm like, well, shit, you the blueprint, I'm with you.
When you step back and look at the full picture of this weekend, what you are looking at is not a tragedy that overshadowed a celebration. What you are looking at is a celebration that was so deeply tied to a man who fought from the bottom to build something real, that even a fatal shooting half a block away could not keep the doors closed or stop the food from going out.
Meat, the Wagyu beef, it's charred just perfectly.
It was delicious.
Y'all sitting on a lot of burgers. Soon as I land, you know well.
Always love a good burger, but the fact that it's family.
Shout out to the Marathon Burger, man. Best burgers in town.
The best burger in the world, not just LA, all over the world.
Do you think this shooting could be connected to Nipsey's shooting? Let me know what you think in the comments section. Also, click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.